Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I sincerely believe that I might be the next Monet.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington and Shaun.
And man, you really got art on the brain, huh?
Yeah,
Just thinking about the grand potential that you can unlock at this point in your life.
To any unacquainted listeners, Sean and I are terrible at art, but we're planning an art challenge on Twitch where the loser will have to 100% Garfield Kart 2. Which, as somebody who had to 100% Garfield Kart, I guess, Furious Racing, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Yeah. It's not great. It's not a good time. So we're hoping to win. Problem is we're both real shit. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. October 2025 on twitch.tv/anime-out-of-context. But Rem, today we are not really here to talk about our bad art. We're here to talk about the art of anime in general. As, we've got some shows to cover. And Rem, God, like, what you and I are doing for this challenge, it's very much protagonist type stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right? Like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, shit. We've given ourselves, like, an insurmountable goal, a massive mini tournament arc for us, and we've got to be the protagonist we want to be if we want to win, and really show our stuff, have our little emotional manga style growth.
Yeah.
And that's great. But Rem, what about the background characters? Don't you think those guys are important?
By definition, not really. I feel like definitionally no.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Okay, but what if I had for you a story about a background character, as in, they have such shitty self-esteem they think they're a background character?
Okay, all right. I'm very proud that you've decided to make something. I always knew you could do it, and even though it's anime, which obviously I don't approve of, hey, you're getting those creative juices flowing, all right? I'm proud of you.
It's not about me, damn it. It's not about me.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the anime we're going to be covering today, Rem. Because our anime is in one that is about our main character, Kazuhiko Nukumizu, it does feel like a background character name, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel great about, his school life.
Okay.
Or, his life in general, and more or less views himself as somebody who's just kind of, vibing in the background where all, the cool, popular people are living their best anime-esque high school life ever.
Yeah, sure.
That's where we come in. And our situation is, one day he accidentally walks into a very private moment between one of the popular girls in class. Ana Yanami is her name. She's a very popular girl, and she just confessed to her childhood friend of many years. We've all seen that trope. We've seen that trope 1,000 times.
Sure.
Yeah, and usually it takes a full season to get to that point. We're starting right from there.
All right.
There's just one problem, Rem.
Yeah.
Well, her childhood friend straight up shoots her down. Says no. No thank you. Not interested. It's not a great vibe.
Yeah, unfortunate.
And, the thing about popular main character types, Rem, is they very regularly pick random background characters to tell everything about and force them into helping them with their love lives.
Yeah.
Because today, Remington, the anime we're going to be talking about is called Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines.
Okay, all right.
As this is a slice of life rom-com about a dude helping out not just this girl, but several girls with their love lives because they fucking get all rejected, and he gets essentially almost Toradora'd into helping them with their romance. But they do insist that this is not a romance, and he is not a romance main protagonist.
I see.
So really, Rem, this is a completely different show that we've never covered before.
Yeah, it does not sound in any way familiar or derivative or generic.
Yeah, and I've definitely never mentioned the show to you before on the podcast as a rejected choice.
So what's it called? What's it called?
Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it the Japanese style, which is Make Heroine ga Osugiru.
Okay, all right.
Or Makeine is the short version, because too many losing heroines is just the case. The whole premise is quite literally, hey, this side character is trying to help these characters that very clearly seem to be like main characters with their love lives. And, it's supposed to be a funny little haha rom-com situation. And it was highly recommended, and people were upset with us because back when it first came out, I gave it to you as a choice. I think it was a blind choice I gave it to you as, and you picked something else, and I just kind of left it on the back burner. And today I thought, well, why not? Why not come back? Sure, you may have thought it sounded like manipulation and bad times when I described it to you the first time, but
I still am I'm sus of it.
You're sus of it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very highly regarded spin on a light novel, romance comedy type story.
Well, yeah, but who's it highly regarded by?
Well, Rem, weebs mostly.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, no, but hey, we've gotten a lot of requests for it, and a lot of people really wanted us to revisit it after you snubbed it the first time. And, a bunch of people insisted that you were judging it too harshly based on my very brief description of it. So, this is your chance to really either confirm your preconceived notions or find something wonderful truly hidden within, because, after all, this was a very popular show in summer of 2024.
All right.
You don't seem so excited, bud.
I have doubts. I have doubts.
You have doubts.
I have doubts.
Would it make you feel better if I told you it had a second season announced?
That would do literally nothing for me.
Okay. Would it make you feel better if I told you that, if, some people find it very funny?
Once again, that's the fucking weebs. Who gives a shit what they think?
Okay, what if I told you, Rem, that this show was a contender for the top show of its particular season?
That might be slightly better, but we're still running up on, it's very similar issues.
I see. And what if I told you that I can't remember which show we ended up watching, but the show that you watched instead of this one was Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. You remember that one?
Oh, do I? Hey, that was the weird sister one.
Yes.
It was the one that didn't seem like it was a sister one, but was.
Yes, correct.
It tried to hide it.
Yes, you chose that one over this one.
Jesus Christ.
So, and people will say that you chose the objectively worse of the two options. So really, Rem, I'm giving you something special.
Oh, is that what's going on? Is that what's happening now?
Something special. And hey, it was in the same season as my dear friend Noko-tan. The deer anime?
Oh, okay. That was solid. That was fine.
Yeah. So, it's in the same season with the same contention. So really, Rem, you gotta stop being so pessimistic.
Oh, yeah, that's the issue here. The issue here is that I've been too fucking pessimistic.
Yeah, you gotta look, it's a spin on a series we've done so many times. Surely this one will be the one that has enough differences to make people happy.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that, won't we?
And I'm sure you won't have any angry words for me when we come back.
Fuck.
So without further ado, let's go straight into it. Let's go watch some Too Many Losing Heroines. And we are back after watching the first 5 episodes of Make Heroine ga Osugiru, or Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. And tell me, Rem, with all of the honesty in your heart, are you mad at me?
Sean, I think you know the answer to that question, but it's let's keep the audience in suspense for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I like a good build up, a good build up. A rising climax, as it were. That's always fun.
This is one where I can conceive that it's possible that that people didn't know how to read me, didn't know where I would fall. Not that they would say I don't know where he's going to fall. More specifically, I think that there'd be listeners that we have that are very confident on both sides.
Yes, that is accurate.
I think we'd have listeners who are like, oh man, have him watch this, he's gonna tear it apart. And I think we'd also have some listeners being like, oh man, have him watch this, it's one of the best of its season, actually good quality shit.
Yeah, I got both of those emails multiple times.
Yeah, perfect. So we open up, the first thing that will be immediately noticed by anybody watching it, it's a very pretty show.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very pretty. It genuinely, it's like almost cinematic at times with the level of quality. Sometimes it dips a bit, but a lot of the time it's what you would expect more so if you were to see like an anime movie, right?
Mhm.
A little romance anime movie in theaters, and you're like, wow, it looks really nice. Especially like, it's the kind of thing that if you went 20 years back and showed them this, they'd be like, holy shit, we've transcended. So very, very nice looking. We open up with a monologue about breakup statistics, and how like 7 in 10 high school relationships, they'll break up or something like that. I don't know. I don't, who cares? It's a way to start, I guess. And then we meet our protagonist. Our protagonist, I just have him as Nuck everywhere. What's his full name?
His name is Nukumizu.
All right, Nukumizu.
Just calling him fucking Nuck the whole time.
Yeah, well, yeah, just in my notes, because look, I take some pretty in-depth notes for whatever we end up watching. Usually it'll feel like 1 page typed, sometimes a little less than that, sometimes quite a bit more than that. But I often need to shorthand because I'm taking notes as I'm watching and I don't want to be missing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll like pause if I have a particularly in-depth note that takes my attention away. But for the most part, I just want to keep things rolling. So, Nuck. So our good pal Nuck, he's reading some, I don't know, syscon bullshit. He's watching a couple arguing in a cafe, and they're breaking up over this girl Karen. All right, where the guy has decided he's into Karen now. And Nuck, he makes eye contact with the girl who just got broken up with, and she's clearly embarrassed. And so she shows up and is like, hey, Nuck, let me trauma dump on you for a bit. And we learned that I'm going to call her Anna, but only like 2 characters. Here's the problem. Nuck will only, he's only calling people by their like last names, right?
Mm-hmm.
By their surnames, because he's respectful and distant. And normally it's like, so all of everybody's friends call every character in this a different name than Nuck. Because Nuck is the only one not friendly with anybody.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't. The closest thing he has to a friend is his books and his sister.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, so Nuck, he doesn't feel comfortable calling anybody by their given name. And normally, you know, I just do sort of whatever the protagonist does. But this is a case where only the protagonist is doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Anna. So Anna is trauma dumping to Nuck, and all about how messed up it is that her now ex has gotten with Karen, and they were a trio of friends really close together, so that's awkward and blah blah blah. Every episode will have at least a couple trauma dumps from Anna just being like, oh my god, him and her are existing.
Yes, correct. And that is all that is on her mind most of the time.
Yes. And so she's the first losing heroine, just, you know, rejected girls. We eventually get lunch with those two after Nuck helps her out with get her away from Karen after she's not taking things well. She trauma dumps some more over lunch. And Nuck had paid when they were at the cafe earlier after her breakup. So he asks for repayment, which is a hell of a move. That is crazy. That's a crazy thing to do. That's kind of something you just need to
take in stride.
Yeah, you sort of tank that and then assume you're never getting paid back, and then just don't interact with them, really.
I mean, the man doesn't have many friends,
back,
so he probably hasn't figured that part out yet.
Yeah. And so they figure out a repayment program that's like, she's like, oh, I could do other things, and it's like, oh, is it sexual favors? No, it's a daily bento box for lunch. And really here, Sean, it's a lovely time to it's going to be impossible once I level this critique to not know where I stand. Here we get to the crux of the matter and why this is a trash show, right? But why the weebs? I know why the weebs will disagree. All right, first, before I even get into my critique, let me defend it. All right, let me steelman it to show that I understand what the fuck the weebs are gonna say. All right, first of all, it's a very pretty show, and I've talked before how weebs are so easily seduced into thinking pretty show means high quality writing. Right? They fall into that trap again and again. They fall, and then it's this show. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to frequently call this a harem anime, and the weebs are gonna get angry at me, Sean. The weebs are gonna get angry, and they're gonna be like, no, this is not a harem anime, Remington, because he doesn't have a harem. He's not getting with all the girls. They're not all falling in love with him, Remington. It's not a harem anime. So if they want to think like pseudo harem anime, sure. But let me talk about what makes a harem anime real quick.
Oh, you're gonna break it down for us. You're gonna genre.
I am because I think I'm gonna make the controversial claim that'll sound silly at first, and then I'll defend the fuck out of it. A harem anime doesn't, strictly speaking, need a harem within the content, and not all stories with harems in it would fall in the harem subgenre. Right. So for example, right, a story that has a harem in it, but it's not a harem story, would be the Book of Esther in the Bible.
Okay.
It's not a harem story, but it is very important to the story that a harem is involved. That is a pivotal part of the story, but it's not a harem story. Whereas something like Losing Heroines, even though strictly speaking there's not a harem, it's very much a harem story. And the reason why, pivotally, is that it is a vessel for the audience to imagine getting with all of those girls, and it more or less be providing a sense of sexual access or voyeurism to all of those girls through the protagonist, usually a bland bitch, so that they can put themselves in that position. It's where you get all of the awkward, and we will see this plenty in this anime. Oh no, I've walked in on you changing. Whoops. Oh no, you've fallen on top of me. Maybe where we're wearing few clothes. Whoops. In this one, oh, you've gotten so delirious that you're taking off all your clothes. Whoops. And so sure, I guess that romantically speaking, nobody has gotten involved with the protagonist. But it very much is like, wow, look at the protagonist getting into all sorts of these sexual circumstances. And then they're going to say, oh, but the protagonist isn't doing it. The protagonist is a passive bitch who doesn't make any decisions or choices. So how could he be held responsible? Because for some reason, a very frequent part of the harem fantasy that weebs have is the passivity of it, right? They don't want to do anything. It's the horseshoe inverse of some Andrew Tate bullshit, where instead of conquering all the women, you're like, no, it just stumbled into me. I didn't do anything. You for some reason, part of the fantasy is plausible deniability. Oh my god, it's so fucking dumb and stupid. So whether or not all those girls are actually into the protagonist, or whether they just happen to provide an outlet for all the romantic and sexual fantasies that the viewer can implant and pretend they're in the protagonist's shoes for, that's a harem anime, dog. That's a harem show. That's a harem story. So it is in the harem subgenre, even if, strictly speaking, there's not a harem. That's my claim. That's what I'm gonna defend.
Fascinating. It's almost like you saw through my clever ruse.
Basically, all I'm doing, and it's a very simple argument, right? It's doing the equivalent of being like, hey, so obviously Zootopia is an allegory for racism, most prominently. And then if somebody came and was like, but it doesn't even have, it's not about humans, and so it doesn't even have different races of humans. So how could it possibly be about racism? And I'm like, you're dumb as fuck. You're not paying attention to the substance of what is being discussed.
And clearly somebody's never played an old school game of D&D.
This anime's trash. But what they're gonna say, what the people are gonna say, it's a beautiful show, and they're gonna say, hey, Remington, you're trying to make it out to be this simplistic harem anime, but it's not that, they will claim. It is not that, they will cry out, because it actually, unlike the vast majority of harem anime that are just vacuous trash, this is exploring something meaningful. And it kind of is. It kind of is. But there's a big fucking asterisk. So what this anime is trying to do through its different characters is it's exploring meaningful teenage loss within relationships, how we cope with that, how we manage, and especially the ways that our support system can help us navigate through that, and how it's not a straight line, it's a bumpy road, right? All of which, great. Love that conceptual. That's really solid. But do you know what I think undermines that completely? Undermines and overshadows it within this show? It's the fact that it's a harem anime. If this was just a story about, how Anna and Lemon, and the shy one. If it was just
Chica.
a story about how Chica, I'll be honest, I don't even know if we've fucking heard someone call her Chica.
Well, Komari is her surname, if that helps.
Yeah. That's all that Nuck uses. If it was a story about all of them, they happen to go through these rejections and breakups and whatnot, right? And through especially one another, they find love and support and figure out how to manage, and we see the different ways that is explored. I think this could be a pretty decent show. The problem is, for some ungodly reason, they were like, well, we need a bland bitch protagonist with zero personality to be the center of the story, to be the star in this solar system. And we need all of this wacky sexual horny hijinks to happen around him. We need to, in other words, for some reason, make it a harem anime. And that needs to be more prominent for some reason than the point of the show. Do you see where that might interfere with the themes being explored, with you're like, oh, this is what makes us different, and then you sideline the fuck out of the thing that makes you different. Do you see how that might be a problem?
Yeah, I can see why that might not be the best choice for telling a more complex story.
But because it has a good art style, the weebs they're like, no, we have plausible deniability. No, it's not about the horniness, Remington. It isn't about a girl nearly getting heat strokes, so she's sweating, and oh my god, she has to take off all her clothes, and then she doesn't know what's going on. She has to sort of stumble and land on top of good old Nuck. It's just how it goes. But that's the story. That's the themes. And they're going to pretend like they didn't finish an episode and then like immediately be like, all right, let's go to Google, look up some fucking Rule 34. You're not fooling me, you fucking weebs, you horny ass fucking weebs. I know why you're watching this. You don't have plausible deniability. You can try to lie to me. Stop lying to yourself. All right. That's all I ask is for some fucking honesty. If you come up to me and you tell me, all right, yeah, this show's not great, but it made me horny and that's what I wanted, then I'd say, look, we have very different criteria for what we want in a show. I guess I'm glad you got what you wanted out of it. But if you show up and you're like, no, what? That's not what I'm after. That's not, this show is a work of art. It has nothing to do with its most prominent elements, Remington. It has nothing to do with that. Clear your mind. In fact, Remington, you're the one with the sick and twisted mind thinking that a teenage girl deliriously stripping has anything to do with being horny. The weebs frustrate me, Sean. They anger me.
I mean, but Rep, they love you so much. That's why they want me to show you these shows.
Oh my god. And you know what also really annoys me about this general power fantasy? This sort of like passive emotional support harem side of things? Look. I was a dumbass teenager once, right? And so I've been in this position. I'm sure a lot of guys have been in this position. And hey, if you think you might be in this position now, it's one of these good old Remington wake up calls where you like a girl, right? You're into a girl. Maybe she's with somebody else or crushing on somebody else, and so you provide that emotional support. And you tell yourself that you're just being a good friend, you're a good guy, because that's how you need to view yourself, that you're just a good guy. You need to protect that view. You're not like those other guys, right? The other assholes. You're nothing like them. You're helpful and emotionally supportive. And man, why doesn't she realize that you're so nice and emotionally supportive instead of the assholes she's with? Right? And you go down that fucking path. And look, it's great to be emotionally supportive to people in their time of need. All right. But genuine, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there. And it's not exclusively on gender lines, just substantially, where there's a lot of motherfuckers out there and they're often the guys who will talk about like the quote unquote friend zone. And it's like, no, that's just what being a friend is, man. And it doesn't sound like you were much of a friend the whole time if you thought that emotionally supporting somebody through difficult times in their life was just a way to get access to romance or sexual activities. Like if that was your end goal the whole time, you weren't being a nice guy, you weren't being kind, you weren't being a friend. All right, you're being a conceited asshole who for some reason really needs to convince yourself otherwise. And once again, look, if you are like under the age of 18, I'll even be generous. If you're under the age of 20, all right, I'll give you a little leeway and I'll be like, hey, I'm not excusing it. I understand. Look, we've all been there where we're lying to ourselves and others. Have a come to Jesus. Mature just a little bit. Just reach a certain degree of maturity where you recognize that isn't being kind, that isn't being nice, that's being toxic as fuck, and it's unhealthy for you and them. Right? That's just not how you should view people. It's not how you should interact with people. If you're older than 20 and you're still acting like that, oh god, you're fucked. And here's the thing. The tragic thing, that statistically, some of our listeners are going to be in the thick of it right now, right? They're going to be those guys. They're going to be those people, but they're going to convince themselves, but Remington isn't talking about me because I'm actually nice. That'll be the tragic thing, Sean. The tragic thing, they'll hear it. So they will have no fucking clue.
So you're talking directly to the poor people who are currently in junior high and high school that definitely listen to us when we're a little bit older skewed in terms of the things we talk about.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Hey, gay, we see you. You should look inside yourself a bit more as well.
And I'm basically like, look, there's two people who can rate this anime highly, right?
Okay.
You're either part of the older crowd, like above 20, or you're younger by definition. If you're younger and you're also listening to this podcast, then it's like, hey, I understand why you might think this is desirable and good. Please, dear God, realize that it isn't. And hopefully I can help you understand that. And if you're older than that, right, and you're listening to our podcast, you're a big fan of the show, you should have outgrown that by now. Come the fuck on now. Time's a ticket. You're... I don't know which group will be more open to hearing my message, because I'm like, the younger ones, I mean, they lack self-awareness because of just age, but it's possible they may grow self-awareness as they mature, right? And this could be an opportunity to do that. The older ones, they theoretically should be more self-aware and mature, but clearly they're not hitting the trajectory as I would want. And once again, I'm not saying that you can't be emotionally supportive, or that anybody who's emotionally supportive to somebody else after a breakup, it has ulterior motives, right? It's just unfortunate that a lot of people do, and that they even lie to themselves about it. So yeah, those are my main problems with the anime. Talk more about actual, like, the events of the anime. That's probably a valuable thing to do. We have the different characters, right? Protagonist. Nuck, he's nothing. His only vague quality is that he reads horny manga.
He likes light novels. He likes light novels and rom-coms. That's his thing.
Yes. Which there's just not a lot there. It is just pandering, right? It's just pandering. It's not that anything interesting is there. Other characters who also like stories, they might be more into the tropes of the stories or more into writing stories. He's just, I don't know, he vaguely likes them, I guess. And I struggle, and I guess he's vaguely emotionally supportive, but mostly it's just the others trauma dumping on him and him being like, oh man. So there's not, look, in 5 episodes, I've not seen a lot else from him, despite him being the protagonist. He is very quintessential bland bitch.
I mean, he self-describes as a background character, so that should tell you something.
And once again, I don't know why every anime thinks we need a bland bitch protagonist. Like, I know, easy audience insert. We don't need an easy audience insert. That's not necessary. That's not required. I'll tell you what, I can understand a story without there being on audience insert, because I'm watching it. I understand, right? I can take multiple vantage points, in fact. It's a wonderful thing. He didn't need to be here. He doesn't add or contribute to the story in a meaningful way. And in any way that he contributes, you could have literally any other character do exactly what he does. And there would be no difference. And it would make for a tighter group of characters, more interesting interactions. And it would just be so much better. So then we have Anna, who is she likes food and is sad about her breakup, and those are really her 2 pillars. Those are her 2 pillars. We have Lemon. Lemon is athletic. I don't know if there's another point. Yeah, she's the athletic tomboy of the group, I guess.
Yeah.
There is.
Don't underestimate how much people like tomboys from. That might be part of what carries a lot of people's opinion about this show.
Well, yes, and once again, that's just all because of the fantasy elements of it, right? Once again, You can be like, oh, I like this character because they're a tomboy. Recognize that's the harem subgenre talking, all right? When you're like, oh, I'm really into the archetypes that help me fantasize about them, you're not talking about the quality of the writing or the story, fella. You're not talking about their emotional reality and just really how deep and well written they are. That's not what you're talking about. Then we have Chica. She is shy and into writing. And then we also have a girl in like student council whose thing is that she's I don't know, she's a bit of a freak, I guess. She doesn't fall into an archetype, so thus far we've seen the least of her.
Mm-hmm.
And in like one of the 2 scenes she's in, it was very focused on being like, wow, look how horny this scene is, right? It was one of those scenes that I find really annoying as fuck. But because she doesn't fall neatly into an archetype, I'm like, hey, at least that's something. All right? And then there's a bunch of side characters who they're somewhat relevant, but not worth getting into in the podcast. And I will even go so far as to say, all right, Losing Heroines, when you compare it to other harem anime, it's a little to the right of the bell curve. All right, when compared to other harem anime, it's above average in its writing and characters. Now here's the issue: that bell curve is not at the break-even line for like quality. It's not. That bell curve for harem anime is just a very low bar.
You're saying the bell curve is more like a thin needle in the center of a.
Yeah, the bell curve has a very has a shift to the lower values, and so that means that above average for a harem anime does not mean that it is above average for like media or entertainment or story. If you're into harem anime, yeah, I guess this is really good for that. Cheers, I guess. But that doesn't mean, once again, people are coming and they're like, no, you don't understand. This sawdust, it has the glitter in it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still sawdust. And they're like, no, but this is so much better. It's got edible glitter in it. I'm like, that can't be your bar. That can't. I guess when compared to just sawdust, yeah, sure. But when compared to, like, some really good curry, it ain't shit, brother. So yeah, mostly we've just gotten them being rejected in the ways they need to be. We've had a few moments that are at best decent or like could be more interesting. but it's so limited by the fact that Nuck is the main character and by the fact that it wants to be styled after a harem anime so badly. If you remove Nuck, and thus, in so doing, remove the harem subgenre of it all, right? Then it's just really compelling. And hey, if you want a little bit of romance, then it can be a story about strong friendship, but then eventually two of the girls, you know what, they decide they're into each other instead of the others, and then maybe one of the other friends, they get a little bit jealous. They're like, oh fuck, say Anna, right, is like, oh fuck, am I getting third wheeled again? And then they have to establish, no, you're not getting third wheel, because even though we're getting together, we still really appreciate our friendship, and we need to reaffirm that. And so it's still ultimately a story about friendship, right? Do something like that. All right, there you go. It just, Nuck didn't need to be here. Why is he here? What the fuck? I know why he's here. It's because harem anime are more marketable, especially when people can pretend they're not harem anime. But it's so annoying. It is so upsetting. And also, I want to know, right? I'm not a prude. I'm not against all horny media. Take one great movie released this year, Sean, was Sinners. Have you had a chance to see Sinners yet?
Not yet. It's high on my list, but unfortunately, I'm too busy watching a lot of really bad anime.
Oh, God. So Sinners, great movie. Fantastic. One of my favorite horror of the year so far. And certain scenes, it gets very horny, right? It can get very horny. But here's the difference. There's the three main differences. One, the characters are adults. That helps. That helps a lot.
It
Man,
does.
that does a lot.
Yeah.
Two, the characters have personalities beyond just being horny, right? You're not like, oh, this is just a vessel for my penis. You're like, oh yeah, these fleshed out characters, they're horny for each other. That makes sense given the world and everything. And then three, and this one is very important and often overlooked, it's honest about it. The characters aren't like, oh, whoops, what have we found ourselves in here? A horny situation? Oh, shucks. Neither of us are culpable for this. It just sort of happened. No, the characters are like, hey, I'm super fucking horny. And then the other one's like, hey, me too, but like better written than that. And so they like take action. And that's more compelling and better. It's not pretending to be something it's not. All right? It's like, yeah, this is what's happening right now. The dishonest horny is possibly the most upsetting kind of horny for me. I get so fucking annoyed by it.
Rem,
just be honest about it.
Rem, you do know I've brought up those exact points in the things you forced me to watch at times, yeah?
I only ever make you watch High Quality Gold, and the only people who could possibly refute that, well, I guess even non-patrons, some of the other April Fool's episodes. Hey, if anybody wants to disagree that I've shown you only High Quality Gold, then they have to watch every single April Fool's video, including the Patreon ones, all right? And if you haven't, then I'll just say you need to listen to more of those, otherwise you wouldn't understand.
You heard it here first, folks. In Remington's opinion, Inukai's dog is high quality stuff.
It's not, I'm not saying it's high quality stuff. I'm saying you can't say I show him low quality stuff unless you've listened to every single April Fool's episode. Because who knows, maybe in one of the 12 days patron exclusive April Fool's episodes, maybe Sean recants his opinion and is like, actually, I think Inukai's dog is brilliant. And you don't know whether that's true or not unless you listen to every one.
What a horrific way to try and blackmail people into the Patreon. That's like, well, we gotta know if this guy is a degenerate freak or not. Let's find out.
It's just me weaponizing, it's sort of a combination of factors. First, Weeb's always telling me, well, if you watch more, then it'd be different. And then two, if I'm being honest, like, whenever people criticize figures like Jordan Peterson, and then it's like, oh no, but you need to consume all of the media he's ever put out in every single form to really understand. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Context is great. You don't need to look at every single granule to understand every other granule.
Oh, God.
So yeah, this was trash, but I think because it is pretty, because I think there's going to be so many people who, a lot of their pleasure of this show come from it being horny, but will pretend that's not the case because it's a plausibly deniable show. Not really, but in their mind it is. And because it is technically above average for the subgenre and gestures towards interesting things, even though I don't think that it is accomplishing them well at all. I think the weeps fucking love it. I think I wouldn't be surprised if whatever season this came out in, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was, I'm gonna guess this was like a top 3 of its season.
Interesting. Well, I can definitely pull up that statistic. So speaking of its ranking, what do you think the MAL score for this was?
All right, I'm gonna do something a little bit risky, all right?
Okay.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take, because I'm struggling with what I think of it as an exact score. I'm going to choose another anime that I think would have a comparable score, and then go from there. So I won't know what I'm locking in until you tell me. I'm gonna start at Dress Up Darling. I don't think it's as well acclaimed, but I think we're kind of in the ballpark for very similar reasons.
Okay.
Let's tune it down by like, let's see, between like 0.05 and 0.1. So let's tune it down like 0.06 lower than Dress Up Darling.
0.06 lower than Dress Up Darling.
And I could, here's the thing. Obviously, I could never remember where Dress Up Darling is. But I feel like I'm just going off of, they seem like they would be comparably rated by the weebs. I think Dress Up Darling would be higher, but I don't think it would be astronomically higher. Maybe decrease a little bit more. But no, I feel good about it. I feel good. So yeah, whatever that is, I'm going to lock that in as my guess.
Okay.
And we'll see if this new method bears any fruit.
Well, just give me a second while I pull up season 1 of Dress Up Darling.
And my prediction for where I have guessed somewhere in the very high 7s or very low 8s. That's sort of where I'm thinking it'll be, but we'll see if I'm even right about that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now. This aired in the summer 2024 season, so a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now that this season was filled with stinkers.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Yeah. And I think people really liked it.
Yeah, because the most popular show at the time that isn't like a returning season thing is also not very highly scored. It was, My Dear Friend Noko-tan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that one has dropped in scoring as more people watched it because people hate fun, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, genuinely, Rem, if we don't count second seasons or part 2s, this was the highest rated anime of that season.
Oh, yep. That unfortunately checks out. That is unfortunately what I anticipated.
Yeah.
There was a chance that I was going to be wrong, and then I was going to be like if the weeps for some reason saw through this one, I would be like, wow, they saw through this, but they didn't see through X, Y, or Z. But no, they didn't. So.
Yeah, no, and the
so
other,
I'll check it out so far.
The other anime that we covered from the same genre when I originally gave you this as an option back then, the Alya-san Hides Her Feelings in Russian, that was 9th highest. As of scoring today. And that's including the sequel series and such. But yeah, okay. So you said 0.06 less than Dress Up Darling.
Yeah. So first question, where's Dress Up Darling?
Well, Dress Up Darling, or Sono Bisuke dal wa Koi wa Suru, at the time of this recording, keeping in mind that its second season has been airing recently, is with 750,000 ratings, which is insanely high.
Jesus Christ.
Dress Up Darling is at 8.14. So your score for this would be.
I feel like I'm happy that it's putting it into the range I would want it to be in. Mm-hmm. I think I think it may risk being a little too high, but I'm happy with where ballpark wise where it put me.
Yeah. So your guess would be 0.06 less than that would be 8.08.
All right.
Well, Makeine Too Many Losing Heroines only has 153,000 ratings a year later after its publication. Dress Up Darling is 3 years later. But with those 153,000 ratings, it's sitting nice and pretty at 8.10.
Oh!
You were stupidly close with that guess. But also very much carried by the fact that, God, summer 2024 was full of stinkers, my guy. I think even when we were recording the podcast at the time, I was struggling to be like, fuck, what do I show him that's current aside from the Deer anime?
Yeah. So to anybody who thought, oh man, he's gonna love this, you got seduced by the fact that it looked nice and was technically a an above average for very specifically a harem anime. You got seduced by those facts, and that convinced you that it was actually deep and well written. Unfortunately, no, it's.
I mean, this is the same
quite
season
shallow.
that had a late season of Fairy Tail rank in the top 10.
Oh my god.
Pretty fucking stinker of a season, especially when you consider that, like, the only other really good thing here is something that we did cover during Pride Month, Senpai wa Otokonoko. But of course, that's scored much lower because I feel like I shouldn't have to explain why it's scored much lower. It shouldn't be that low, but it's definitely much lower.
Yeah.
The rest of the season, though, more or less a complete wash. It's not great. Well, but hey, maybe you'll disagree with me, and maybe there's something from summer 2024 that we completely skipped over that isn't a second season or continuation of a pre-existing story. And then maybe we can talk. Oh god, it was also The Elusive Samurai, which you had a lot of issues with as well. Yeah, no, I really tried to show you a lot from the season to try and really redeem it. I did
This
not.
was a bad season. It was a bad.
It just there was something in the water at the time. I don't know, man. We got one really good queer anime, one really fun weird anime, and then a lot of garbage. So I guess with that in mind, my final question for you, Rem, is there any chance you'd like to watch any more Too Many Losing Heroines?
No, God, no. I look, I could see somebody here's my weird take, all right?
Okay.
I think
Mhm.
what this needed,
Uh-huh.
less harem, more domestic girlfriend. That just weird, that style of storytelling. For sure, it's still a bit horny, but it's more mature and nuanced about it. A little bit more soap opera about it too. Maybe that probably would have been fine.
So you wanted to watch Lemon walk into the ocean? Is that it? That's pretty dark, my guy. That's pretty dark.
Holy shit! If one of the girls after a breakup, like they're sort of coping, they have one like really good day, and people are like, oh, they're finally over it, and then they just fucking off themselves the next day. That'd be brutal and fascinating storytelling, right? I just want stories that aren't the same shit I've seen a million times, all right? Just give me something different, even if it's fucking crazy. Just give me something else.
Well, I think we'll have to see what we can do about that for the future. But for now, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed Remington being slightly distracted by pretty colors and then immediately bringing the crushing reality hammer down on everybody who listens, please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/anime-out-of-context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington are occasionally playing video games very poorly. Lately, Dylan's been trying to stream vampire-style games on Monday. Will he keep it up? Hard to say. But if that's not to your taste, I have been very consistently streaming Final Fantasy every Thursday, and by this time, I should be starting Final Fantasy IV, so we'll have to see how that goes. And if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime-out-of-context, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who we thanking this week?
I just want to briefly interrupt. I checked now that like I've given all my thoughts and everything, right? I went on to our Discord and I just did the search bar losing heroines to see if anybody was trying to specifically just the Discord trying to psychoanalyze how I think about it. And I have to give a shout out to Jupiter Prime. Hey, shout out Jupiter Prime, who said Too Many Losing Heroines has that sort of high quality animation that Rem can see right through. You get it. You fucking get it. You fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
So I just thought I would recognize that, because when I read that I was like, damn,
our audience is getting
right.
better at figuring out, what you can latch on to.
It turns out after 370 some odd data points, they get a clearer picture. They start to, because especially in the early days, right? Man, there was nobody was getting it right. Nobody fucking understood. There was all the recommendations being like, you'll love this, and just almost all categorically false.
It's true.
They were all like, no, but this will be the thing that does it, and it almost never was. But now, there's a sizable chunk of our listeners who are like, I think not just he'll like it or he won't. I think he will have this specific kind of perspective on this. And while sometimes they're still wrong, more and more they'll be like, he'll have this specific take, and I do. Which then I need to self-evaluate and be like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, look, man, people put us in our place all the time, and they also really broaden our perspectives, as it were. And we do love our listeners very, very much, but especially our lovely patrons. So, Rem, who are we thinking this week?
As always, we'd like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus. Who are clockwork oranging us, trying to convince us that this show, it's high quality and deep, and it's not just a horny harem anime. And on that list we have Remington and Shaun is my favorite anime content creator. Gandalf the Barbarian. Rem was right, shouldn't negotiate with Shaun. Turn my butthole into your nuthole, Daddy Shaun, said Donald Trump, the current president. Shaun blocked my cock. I don't know why it's doing it in a weird order, but it is doing it in a weird order. So things are gonna there's unlikely to be a Shaun block. The Shaun block will be
spread
dissolved
out, which
throughout, I
love.
suppose. Shaun, we should do another meetup again. That one you organized on January 6th was wild, man. You really took charge.
Christ! No!
They're complimenting your organizational abilities. Props for taking charge.
God, the Red Pill Rollin strokes are going to be the worst this week because of a certain event.
The little demon in my shoulder has jokes that I find hilarious that I want to make, but I shouldn't. Gotta hold that out. I've got my thinking. Where's my yanking? I'm getting married in 3 weeks. Hey, congrats. Calderius, does Dracula United support Haru Arara?
That's the pink-haired horse from Uma Musume that always loses. She died recently. The actual horse died. And a lot of people are very sad. A lot of people are mourning.
Dracula United would like have a tweet about it, but they're not like doing it because it's not a monster. It's just a horse. It's just a horse. So that doesn't. That's outside the jurisdiction.
So horse girls aren't monsters?
They would. Horse girls might be. Did the horse girl die? I suppose.
I don't think in the canon, but a lot of people have drawn a lot of very sad art. Very sad.
The horse girl might be under Dracula United's purview. It's sort of a middle ground. The horse does not. Unless it's sort of Greek mythological, and that horse has fucked a woman, and the child would be under the jurisdiction once again. So
no, that's more of a gold ship thing.
The fuck? Alright, Ryan Moody, week 25 of using my Patreon name to request code Geese. Boring Siren, Sparcy, that time I reincarnated as a podcast host and forced to weeb. I need a sugar daddy to buy animation equipment. How romantically available is your mom? It's such a small thing. It is so weird that Patreon is just shaking things up at seemingly random.
Yeah.
Shaun, I'd like to purchase that jar you have that's filled with white liquid and is labeled the Pope's Holy Seed. How much you... And then gets cut off there. Suarez Verdi, Jake Dent, Wolfire 56, Nerd 98, Lucky Stars, the King of Moe. God, make sure you call your mom today, Rem. One never knows. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
Are they gonna come after your mom?
My mom is a saint, and I will remind everyone, just a couple weeks ago, literally saved kittens from drowning, and then helped find the mom, reunited them, and then went and was able to find the other kittens from the litter and brought them all together. That's all true. My mom did that in a span of like 3-4 days. All right. So my mom's a badass and a saint.
Bet your girlfriend really loved that as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, my girlfriend already loved my mom because my mom's great, but that really took it to the next level. Rem goes to the boynecologist to get a boy-bortion. What the fuck is I don't know whether boynecologist or boy-bortion is worse. I can't believe I made an account for this. The West returns. Bento Kato. Remington is right. Red Pill Rollins gooning to Trans Sean's big hole. My little horse rem. Beach episode and harem supporter, right, Sean? We got both. There was a beach episode in the first 5. I think it was like the second or third.
Which is pretty quick for beach episodes.
That's a very quick beach episode. Red Venom, Amoy Piece of Trash, Seraphim the Shark Plushie, Dylan Appreciation Day, Aisha Gudgy, Blarf, Macaroni Cheeseha, Daniel Riot. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Zoro as my navigator. Sean ruined my happy sugar life when I learned that the solution to happiness is blaming my problems on Sean. Super Zoo, Erica McCorkle, Sean Rollins, Link Jokerl. Sean wants to give Spoon Man a thank you. Sean, we would like to express our...
Censored at Sean's request. Personally, I found that one funny, but he's being a pain in my neck about it.
Oh, God! I don't know if we can keep that one in.
If Dylan censored that, well, hey, you know who you are.
Yeah. Christ. I didn't realize how right I was gonna be.
Rem uses the drums of liberation for all weebs from bad anime. I showed my grandma Anne Shirley and she watched it all by herself. Did I turn her into a weeb? My Digimon is Mpreg Red Pilled Rollins. Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story about Sean's nut. Turban, where's our DBZ review, you ginger fuck? Could have seen highly requested Made in Abyss, but Sean gave us Gotcha Kuda. Stacy's mom, Amazing Muffin. Watching Requiem for Spoon Man, 0.5 speed. King Rich Rock. Pro tips out of context to try that thing's supposed will come back soon. Fantide. Rhiannon Williams. Titan CNH. The Susanator. Rock Hard for Jew Dudes. Gold Ship and Gigi Murin have the same energy. Yandere Neko. Anime. Miska wonders if Don Bluth had been born in Japan, would the movie be all dogs get isekai'd with one OP skill?
Wow. That's a hell of a pull, and
That's crazy.
I
appreciate sincere creativity. Bravo.
Yeah, no, genuinely, like that's pretty fucking good. Like,
there's some great shit posts all throughout the Patreon names, but sometimes there's just actual genuine and sometimes there's creativity in the shit post too. I don't want to besmirch the shit post community.
I mean, look, some of them get censored. Like,
and as we all know, hey, I'm on the record talking about it, at least some people's high effort degeneracy, which they have taken as and branded themselves with the moniker.
Yep.
Fern the Fernford, G.E. Bottom, aka Bear Trap. Sorry for not changing the name, but do plan. I think you need to Batman my town. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Totally good. No waifu, no waifu. I'm making Rem call Sean ethnic slurs until you bring back the Chef and Musco tier. Sean, you broad trotter. Europe fact of the week: French isn't a real language. Cheese Monkey, Jax, Professor Fox, Jam Hands. Red Pill Wallens doesn't wipe because he's not gay. Bakshin. Farm Weaves Rem choice of the week. Who will Sean Embrick first, Sonic or Luigi? Sonic, because it's more efficient that way, because you'll get that over nice and fast. And then you can get to Luigi right quick. Ross Palmer, Glenn Mike Dolan, and Cassidy. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier. Sean, what are they going to get this week?
I'm going to give them Now, I don't believe this list. It says these are all romance light novels, but some of them seem suspicious. And if these are, in fact, all romance novels, dear fucking God, this is scary.
All right, well, on that list we have J-Boss.
They can have 5 centimeters per second.
Next up we have She.
86.
Tails Williams.
And I think the extra funny thing about this is, I'm gonna say some names, you're gonna forget them, and then one day we're gonna cover the anime adaptation, and it's gonna be very funny. But let's give them an Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride.
Oh my god. Dom and I, Trigun is better than anything Rem has ever watched. After episode 7, Sean watch it for fun, lots of drunk.
Babble.
Titara wonders if y'all will ever go on estrogen.
Bottom tier character Tomozaki.
Your friendly neighborhood Kami.
Chitose is in the Ramune bottle.
Umbrasite.
Cross-dressing villainess Cecilia Silvi.
Umbrasite. No. Rem still needs to watch Vandorian's My Go Nave Buchika, or else Kasumi will keep singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh god. Days with My Stepsister.
That Mouse Girl.
Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody.
Truckun Operator number 42.
Did you think my Yuri was just for show?
Everyone wants One Piece live action on episode 400.
God, light novel titles are weird sometimes. Fireworks, should we see it from the side or the bottom?
Sammy K is here to remind you that you just lost the game.
Guillotine Bride.
Roscoe.
Hige Hero.
Carver 271.
I don't like the implications of this title. How to Win Her Heart on the Nth Try.
Spoonman the Aristocrat.
I kept pressing the 100 million year button and came out on top.
Power Cell Ponders, does K-pop Demon Hunters count as an anime to make Rem watch?
Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in the dungeon?
Monogatari is everything you ever said you want in an anime. This week, are we watching the freaking Watanabe or not?
Liar, liar.
I'd like to start a petition to replace the word brat with Gudere.
Log Horizon.
Nurikaza hashtag SONR soaking one nut Rollins.
Okay, another concerning title. Because this could mean two things, and I don't like either. My friend's little sister has it in for me.
Mike.
Oh, an actually good one. My next life as a villainess, all routes lead to doom.
Beethoven 1201.
I'm sorry, no game, no life.
Silent secondary.
I'm doubly sorry, you get Orc Erotica.
Miguel De Leon.
Oh, sorry, Orc Eroica. There's no T.
Oh, it's very different, very different.
Yeah.
Miguel De Leon.
Pandora Hearts.
And Allfather offers Shonifer a purple pill to nullify at least one of the many red pills he takes every day.
ReZero, starting life in another world.
And now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will give a well thought out review, but brief, about anything whatsoever, and I'll tell you what he really means. On that list we have, follow anime out of context on Blue Sky. Until 17 years old, Shaun thought Hack and Slash was a gay sex turn. Ubauk. And of course on the Blue Sky, they're both shouting out Shaun's Twitch streams and also calling him out for failing and not playing Silk Song.
I specifically, if anything, I didn't fail. I succeeded by not playing Silk Song because I stuck to my guns and played my scheduled game rather than jumping. And also, I haven't played a Hollow Knight yet, so that would be really... I feel like they would hate that more if I skipped Hollow Knight to just play Silk Song.
But hey, I think what we're all excited is for what you stop playing after October 7th. Garfield Kart 2 is officially out at the time of recording, and it doesn't have good reviews!
Yeah, I wonder why.
It does not have, and a lot of the reviews come from people being like, look, I love Garfield Kart Furious Racing. It's one of my favorite games. But this, that's terrifying. That is a terrifying review to see.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right, well, give a genuine but brief review of anything.
Of anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say because it's another thing that Dylan would have to cut.
Keep it the media, the movies, just the movie.
Yeah, movies, because I was about to say how nice.
Censored yet again. Hey, fun fact. Did you know that Utah Valley University has a Cessna 150 mounted on a pole near the main entrance to the Norda Center? Back in the day, I made a point to spin the wheels on its fixed landing gear every time I walked by.
Yeah, no, I know where you were going. I know where you were going.
Okay, movies. Okay. A genuine heartfelt review on, let's go with Bring Her Back. Genuinely a very harrowing horror film with, messages and themes that will really, stick with you, and you'll probably never want to watch it again.
And what he really means by that, it's his review. I'll take it, go, yeah.
Be careful. I avoided my pitfall.
He's happy it taught him some cool stuff about what you can get off the dark web.
Christ.
Then we have, Shaun, you're so hot, my zipper is falling for you.
Okay. Evil Dead Rise, is a very good horror film and is wildly underrated considering how personal it feels with the, raw violence and comedy in it.
And what he really means with that review is, awooga, I'd never seen such a spooky MILF. And last but not least, we have Baby Shaun's Missing Nut. It's the friends we made along the way.
Let's see. Man, just thinking of a movie.
Just any movie, come on.
Just any movie. Okay, alright, fine. Demon Slayer Mugen Train was a fun time with some weird CGI, and I saw a lot of people crying in the theater, so I think it must have done a decent job.
And by that he means, awooga, what a MILF. I
was curious to see what you would pull from that.
So we just,
I was gonna...
Who does that refer to? You all know.
Because I don't think there's...
know.
I don't know if there's a singular MILF-esque character except for maybe one of the Hashira, and it would be a little insulting to call her a MILF, because I think she's like 20 or something.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister. Oh, she's 18.
Do 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 do.